without further ado, Chris, I would love for you to share your story and just tell the people, what happened on the night of, and then you can go and drop in what we're talking about.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah. January 20th, January 20th, 2015. My life kind of changed forever. Um, I was going through a lot personally during that time. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and I was very young. I was 20 years old, a fresh 20-year-old. I had just turned 20 a few months prior, and really trying to step out on my own in adulthood. And I grew up a certain kind of way. I grew up around certain people and raised in certain environments. Streets was kind of all I knew at a point in time, and so um like I said, January 20th, I had a lot going on. I was in the streets heavy, and I was going to meet up with a friend of mine's, my homie that stayed in Newcastle, and randomly that night, as I'm going through the motions, as everything is playing out, an individual walked up to my car while I'm sitting in my car, and pulled the gun out on me. Pulled his gun, told me to give up everything that I had on me at that time, and because of everything that I was going through, because of all the stuff that I had going on, I didn't really respond in an ideal way. It got semi-confrontational, if you will, semi-confrontational. Um, the individual started shooting, shot my car up, shot me 4 times, um, and that's kind of how the whole ball got rolling, if you will. I
But
got shot.
hold on, bro. Let me ask
Okay.
one question real quick before you get into it, because I don't want to. I know you're on a roll. I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to ask one question. So
Okay.
when that was happening, right? Did you think like in your mind where you just like, oh, this dude he's a pussy, he not going, he's just a bluff, this ain't gonna happen, or like what did you think that it was gonna escalate to that point, or you was kind of like, oh nah, he ain't really about that type of lifestyle.
So to be all the way 100, I didn't know him. Like I
Oh,
didn't know him. I ain't had no relationship with him. Never really mixed or mingled with him. I think I may have seen him around, type of thing, but I didn't know him. I didn't have no. Our paths never really crossed, so I didn't know. Truth be told, but as far as your question is concerned, and this is always like this, it's kind of weird and ironic. So the area that I was in that night, a friend of mine's had been there, had been in that area, uh, shortly before then. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. I can't really say the exact amount of time frame, but a friend of mine's had went through a robbery situation in the same area, and he had told me, or he communicated to me that he had got robbed with a BB gun. And so and mom, like I said, I had so much going on. I was in like a weird mental space at the time. So I was already like moving quote unquote recklessly. And then in my head, I was thinking about what he had said. Like I was thinking about the fact that he had just got robbed with a BB gun, and I move around a little bit differently. So when the when I'm faced with the weapon in my face, the first thought in my head was, man, my man's just got robbed over here with a BB gun. I ain't I'm not gonna be number two. So I was like, shoot, like if you pulling it out on me, you're gonna have to use it. So
right.
I didn't know, where the dude's mental was at. I don't know what he was like or what he was about, but I was like, I ain't about to be the next guy that come around here and get robbed with a BB gun. You know what I mean? So little I got a little bit careless with the situation, for sure. For
Mm.
sure, for sure.
All right, so so when that happened, right?
Mhm.
What? when he pulled the trigger, you remember that part. What is the next thing you remember after that?
Man, so I still remember everything pretty vividly, truth be told. So, um, like I said, before the shots got fired, I was real like combative. I usually tell the youngsters and the kids that I speak with or that I share my story with that your life is precious, your life is valuable, man. At the end of the day, you can get back any material item that you may have, you can get back all the money, but you can't get your life back. You know what I mean? And so when I felt the first shot, it's weird. Like I was combative at first, and then when I felt that first shot, and mind you, I got shot in my face. I got shot literally like right next to my ear. So when I felt that first shot, I just remember being like, "Yo, you you got it, fam. Like you got it. It's all you. Whatever you want, you got it, bro. Like you can have it, brother." And so I was messed up. I was all the way messed up from the first shot on. I was my mind changed instantly from you gonna have to take it to yo, you listen, you can have it. You can have all of it, and you know what I mean, it's all yours. So um I should have carried it like that from the beginning, like I said, because at the end of the day, your life is way more valuable than your ego, your pride,
Right.
or just trying to be, I don't even want to say tough, but just trying to stand your ground, quote unquote. So like, yeah, no, it was immediately off the first shot, I was just like, man, you can have it. I'm done. Take it. Like it's all you.
Yeah.
Um and I don't know what ultimately ended up getting taken from me. But as soon as the shot stopped or whatever, I'm just laying there in the car. Like I'm in my car at the time, so I'm laid over, slumped over in the car, and I just like I just remember like saying to myself at that moment in time, I'm just like, yo, you can't die in your car. Like you
Right.
under no circumstances can you die in your car. And so I was like, yo, you gotta get up. Like you gotta get up. And so I I pulled myself from the car, and I'm in an apartment complex at the time, mind you. I wasn't like in like houses or anything like that, or in front of nobody's like single family home. I was in an apartment complex, and so I pulled myself out the car. I I like stumbled over to the apartment building steps, and I just laid out on the steps. I just laid out on the steps and waited for help. Fortunately, fortunately, my homie Q came out because I was at Q's building. Me and Q was meeting up that night. We was linking, and he just so happened to come outside like as I'm stumbling to the steps or as I'm laying out on the steps. And Q stayed out there with me until the ambulance came. Q stayed with
Right.
me until the ambulance came. I was going in and out. I remember telling Q like, bro, I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to check. Like I'm checking. And he started slapping me. You know what I mean? He started slapping me up and just being like, nah, wake up, bro. Like you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. And so we stayed out there on the apartment steps till the ambulance came.
Hmm. Wow, I'm just wow. So hearing because audience, you got to know like I never really heard Chris tell this story before, so I'm just taking it all in. Like I'm a guy. Me and Chris, I've known Chris since what 20 since high school since 2010
I
2011
was really
like 2020
from the school bus days, man.
yeah. So
School bus days.
you gotta think right. And we rode the bus together. We went to high school together. So I didn't know any of this until I get a phone call. Then I got a phone call from Coley. Coley calls me. I think this was the next day or the day after. Coley calls me. And I don't mean to get emotional, but Coley calls me. He says, yo, bro, Chris got shot. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about, bro? Stop. Stop. You playing right now. You playing. And if I remember vividly, I remember because me and Chris was really close at that time, and I remember he was having issues with a girl at that time. If I remember correctly, back then you was having a relationship issues. I think I remember that very vividly. And I think it was like a month or 2 months later, this happened. And then Coley calls me. He's like, "Yo, bro, Chris got shot." I said, "You crazy?" So then I remember going to the hospital. Like a couple days later or a day later, we go to the hospital. It's me, Coley. I can't remember who the hell who else was there. Big Mike, the Big
Jeez.
Mike, Big Mike. I remember your dad being there. I remember your mom was there. I remember your cousin was there. I forget her name, the brown skin one. She was there. I remember seeing so
Yeah.
many. Yes, yes. I remember seeing so many people there. Asia was there. Krishana was there. I remember seeing mad people at the hospital. So we there, and your mom's like, "Oh, thank you guys for coming. You know, he's gonna fight. He's gonna be better. He's gonna be better." And then she's telling me like how many shots you took. I'm like, "Are you serious?" And this is at the same time I'm going through my law enforcement thing. I'm going through academy. I'm working at the prison or whatever the case may be. I know who the dude is that did this because they put him at Gander, so I know who he is because he came in. They put him in segregated housing because he's a high profile case. He came in on a high bond. So I'm just sitting. I'm just all these emotions and things is going through my mind, and I'm just sitting there and I'm talking to your pop. He's like, "Oh, you working law enforcement? Da, 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 that's good. That's good. Blah blah blah." And I'm just like, is this a dream? Like what's happening right now? This is crazy. Like I would have never expected to get a phone call saying, "Yo, this happened to X, Y, and Z. This happened to Chris. He's in the hospital right now. He got shot." I never expected in a million years that would happen. Because back in the day, Chris is very smart. He moved very smart back in the day. He didn't move wild, loosey goosey. That was never his thing. I would never say he would move like a crazy person. But it was just wrong timing, bad place, wrong time type of thing. And it probably would have happened to anybody because those dudes probably was looking for a caper at that time. So it probably could happen to anybody. But to happen to Chris, it was just I was shocked. I was
Man.
baffled. And I remember when and I clearly remember when they did the shirts. Your mom did the shirts. I purchased a shirt. Everybody had a shirt. It had like pray for Chris. And it had a shirt of you in the hospital thing. And yeah, it's just wild, man. I can't even fathom um what happened to you. It was something that shook me, and I think it shook everybody in our friend group because it was something that happened to a person that it didn't need to happen to. Um, but continue with your story. I was just giving from my perspective, but continue.
Nah, love, bro. Appreciate it for sure. And man, the crazy, not crazy isn't always the right word, but the ironic part for me, um, as everything is playing out, was that like I had so many people at the time that was telling me like almost kind of the opposite of like some of the things you said. Like they was telling me like um yo, you gotta move differently. Like they was telling me like, yo, you people starting to notice that you getting money. Like people
Right,
starting to see that you getting money, and like it's okay to get money. Like it's fine. Like obviously the means is different. So like if you getting money through a certain means, it's probably not. But
right,
it's nothing wrong with having money, right? Like, but it's a whole different story to be just walking around with not some money on you. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's different. Once people already see that you look like money, and then it's going to start getting around that you carry money on you, or that you may have X, Y, and Z on you. And so I like as unexpected as it was, and as like out of the blue as it was, I had a couple people, or at least like a close knit number of people who was trying to put that bug in my head, like, yo, I love you, boy. Like, I love you, boy. Like, but you out here and these $1,000 outfits, walking around with thousands of dollars on you.
Yeah.
It's it usually don't mix well, not with what you doing, like not with what you're doing. You know what I mean? And so I didn't take heed. Like if I'm being, all the way straightforward, I didn't take heed. Like you said, I was going through things. My mind wasn't all the way there. And I like you said, I end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Could have happened to anybody, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's kind of how things go. Um, it's as as fast as that happened, bro, like the aftermath and everything that came with it on the back end, uh, weighed way more in terms of my overall quality of life and how I looked at things. So just to let like you know, most of the people, most people who know me already know these things, so it's not really like a secret to the people who know me. But for anybody who's unfamiliar with me, so like I said, I got shot 4 times. Like I said, I got shot in my face, I got shot in my back, I got shot in my shoulder, I got shot in my elbow. Um, had to get a rod put in my arm because my I don't even remember what this bone is called, but this completely shattered.
Right.
Um, I got nerve damage in the same arm from my nerves being severed. That's why my left hand isn't on camera that much because you know what I'm saying. I got nerve damage in my left hand. Um, my right leg was amputated. I didn't even get shot on the right side of my body. All the bullets hit me on the left side of my body, and I ended up losing my right leg because bullets travel. Like that's one thing that people should know is that bullets travel when they hit your body. They don't stay in, just one place.
Yeah.
And so I had a bullet that went into my back and went all the way across my abdomen and severed the arteries to my leg. And so when I got to the hospital, when I got to the hospital and when my parents finally got there and everything, um, they told my parents like, yo, he got 25%.
Mm.
He
I
he got
remember that. I remember
it was
that.
yeah, they said he got 25%, but the arteries to his leg got severed. So we can try we can try and save his leg, but we might end up losing him, or we can try and save him and we'll probably end up losing the leg. And
Mm.
so you can obviously imagine what they decided, obviously it's
Yeah.
like, yo, save my boy. We could figure the leg stuff out. We could figure the leg stuff out when he come to, but um I had a conversation and I don't mean to be all over the place, but I had a conversation with the main surgeon who did a lot of my early surgeries. Um and he was dumbfounded, like he was baffled. Truth be told, I don't know if it was like in awe at his own work as like some narcissistic stuff or just in awe of me and my situation because for whatever reason he wanted to have a conversation after I started getting well, and he was just honest with me and he was like, between me and you, like I wasn't expecting to save you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like obviously we go in looking to make miracles happen or looking to do you know the unfathomable, but
Right.
in reality I wasn't expecting you to make it.
Wow.
And so that hit home, man, because I on the one hand I have him telling my loved ones, telling everybody around me, 25%, 25%. Hold on to that 25% because 25% is still a shot.
Yeah.
It's still a shot. But then to, have that conversation and realize that in his mind, 25% was a losing shot.
Yeah.
Like so um it hit home. I I ended up befriending a social worker who worked in the hospital, named Chaz. He used to come see me every single day. And I don't even
Hmm.
really, too much know why. It's a, middle-aged white dude. I'm a 20-year-old African American, bunch of tattoos all
Right.
over me. Um, but he would come see me every single day, and he would bring me a salted pretzel, and he would bring me a ginger ale and cranberry juice. Call it my little
Hmm.
cranberry juice cocktail, and we ended up building a real relationship. And I got to know I got to know like what he did, because I'm like, yo, why do you have the time to come see me every single
Right.
day? Like
Right. Right.
it's not making sense. And you a hospital social worker, like what do you do? And at the time, I was interested in social work myself. Like I was actually taking classes at Dell Tech to to get into social work.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, I go around and I talk at schools. Like
Mm.
I do he was like, I do a violence prevention program. And I was like, yeah, can I come? Like,
Right.
can I come? Cause I'm I'm like, I need something to do. So I'm like, yeah, can I come? And he was like, yeah, yeah, like I want you to come. Would you tell your story when you come?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just like, I don't really know what story I have, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know what you looking for, but yeah, sure. Like, I'll talk, like, I'll tell what happened to me, and um, it just grew. Like, it grew from that point. At that point, I was still in the process of like trying to relearn everything, so I wasn't walking at the time, but
Right.
um, yeah, no, I started going around to the schools with him. We built like a real friendship, and we hit like almost almost every middle school and high school in Newcastle County, and part of like the lower counties as well. Not too much down there, but Newcastle County for sure, where everything like played out, and where everything where a lot of this stuff kind of got its origins from. Like we made sure to do a lot of work in that area to try and give back, and to try to help those youngsters that look like me, look like you, come
Right.
from where we come from, see the things that I've personally seen, and try and steer them away from it as much as we can. You're not going to save everybody. Like that's just the reality of this work. But
That's true.
we if you could save one, man, if you could save one, that's doing God's work. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
my fault for talking so
Nah,
much.
you good. You good.